Mr. Gerald Bitok, how are you? Good to see you too. Karibu, karibu. Thank you for joining us on Ride Free with George.
It's my pleasure.
Tumeshukuru sana sa.
Asante sana.
Yes. How have you been?
Quite well.
I know things
Just
are
starting
getting
out the year.
things are getting heated in the political scene.
Getting crazy.
And excellent content for you.
You know that's actually food for us. That's food for us.
Yes.
So the more the political arena gets crazy,
Exactly.
you know, the more fun that we have. So,
Yes.
well, in a good place. It's high season for us.
And in Kenya, you can never exhaust political material. Kila siku, there's
Kenya,
something new.
You know, I always say Kenya is a big theater.
Exactly.
Kenya is one big theater. So
Yes, sir.
there's a lot that happens every day.
Yeah.
You can never be sure about what's going to happen the next day.
Yes.
And you can never run short of political narratives. And actually, the other people who are doing business are newspapers.
Yeah.
You see, newspapers have headlines every other day
Yeah.
for different regions,
Yes.
depending on what is happening politically there. So, well, that's a match about us.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Gerald Bitok, popularly known for his show, the Gerald Bitok Show, The Tackle. On Facebook, you have 140,000 followers. You're also a political strategist, analyst, an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And actually, the segment that I want to have you in this show, because we've started a show called The Greatest, and we have people in different fields who have excelled in those particular fields. So, like, we've done Radio Queens, the greatest radio
I
queens.
saw you. I've actually been watching your interview.
Yeah, and we are doing that. So for you, I think we want to categorize you in the digital geniuses category, because you're really, you're competing with TV stations.
You're flirting. You're flirting.
No, you're competing with TV stations. It's crazy.
Wow.
Tell us about your show, when it started, what inspired it, and how you were able to gain followership.
So first of all, I need to congratulate you for entering this digital space. And this is where the world is. This is where the future is.
Yes, sir.
And I keep telling these guys, when you mention the mainstream media, for instance, I've worked in the mainstream media as a resident analyst, as a content giver. I still do some analysis I do analysis for Radio Africa on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Yes.
So I have been in this space. And one thing that you realize about the mainstream media is that it's a very big giant that really takes a lot of time to move. It's so slow and sluggish. And you keep telling these guys that there needs to be a new strategy because things are changing.
Yes.
The audience is moving away from the mainstream spaces. When you look at the TVs, physically listening to radios as well, people are really moving away from that.
Yeah.
So when you realize that, there's a book that was written, it's called Who Moved My Cheese? Who moved my cheese?
Yes.
And the mainstream media keep asking themselves in this space, who moved my cheese? And they don't realize that the people who are taking their content are moving away from the boxes of the TVs. Now they're on their phones every time. I could literally tell you that even you, I don't think you spend time watching TV. I don't watch TV.
I don't know when the last time was I watched TV.
So the thing
Unless
is,
it's news once in a
so
while.
there are two things that really inspired me to get into this different space. One is narratives. The biggest tragedy about mainstream media is that the original intention of having media early as a fourth estate was to put in check the government. It was like a check tool. With time now it has changed, it's become a business. So today, before a mainstream media is a communication center, it's a business first. Yeah. So you don't need to be a rocket scientist to see that these guys, first of all, you think about their business interest, and these are guys who trade with government. So there are things that you'll never see on the mainstream media. There are conversations that the Mwananchi needs to get that you'll never find on the mainstream media. So that means there's a gap for the Mwananchi. That is the first thing that inspired me. Having been in the mainstream media space, there are things you'll say and they tell you, it's the same occasion. The other day they failed to invite you. They tell you, no, we're not going to do this with you because maybe there's something. You've touched maybe on a business, you've stepped on their toes, on their plate literally. So you realize then that the Mwananchi does not get value on the conversations that matter to them. That is the first thing that inspired me. The second thing is the revolution and the evolution of things. Things keep changing every day. And one thing I can tell you, my brother George, is that change has never consulted anybody. That's what I keep telling people. Change has never consulted anybody. Change happens. It doesn't care. It's like a rolling rock that keeps rolling every time. So the thing is, are you moving with it or are you moving against it? If you're moving against it, probably it's going to crash you down. So there's something that mainstream media have never learned is that it's a space that is shifting. and you need to follow your audience. So number one, the thing that inspired the beginning of my show, me starting my show, was first of all the narratives. I felt the Mwananchi deserves information that is true. Without the doctorship, without the narratives being shaped, without the money involved, without the media buying, because there's a lot of media buying that happens today. Someone would come and say, okay, I'm buying the media to kill a story, or I'm buying the media to make a story, a narrative. So that's something that we need to unbox the country away from. And that's something that we're really taking charge of. I might not really say we are, I might not want to be the person to admit that, well, we are big, but we are changing the narrative across the scale. Even the mainstream media are beginning to ask themselves questions. A lot of them, they say, I want to come and see how you guys do this thing. You know? So that's the match that really pushed me to do this. And I'm happy because I feel one time, for a reason, at least the Wananchi are getting quality conversations from people that matter. They are getting the truth, the things that the other people would never talk about. Yeah. That's my pleasure. I mean, that's what really makes me happy.
Excellent.
Yeah. Mbugua was actually crazy. And just to encourage you as well. Yes. And I can tell you this is not the beginning for you. I mean, you're doing well. You know, the machines that you have, and though you're doing it, I mean, you're doing well.
Yes, sir.
You know, there's something that people never really understand, is that there's always a beginning on things. And a lot of people never want to start doing things because they don't want to be seen starting from the bottom. Get it? Like for you, Ride and George, you want to be probably having a limousine and having several cameras to start such a show. But you're starting from where you can, and you're building content for yourself. You're building a conversation. So I'm really proud from where we began. Where we began as well. This is super crazy. So I went to Tao. We didn't even have lights. So nikaingia pale Tao nikabai kale ka light, ka yellow light ya 2400.
Okay.
Hiyo kitu ilikuwa kiwasha kwa studio bwana. Ile una sweat. Joto ambaye inapita pale. So it's been a journey. We had one camera that we struggled to operate with. Even I'm telling you, you're big, man. So where we are today, it's been a process. And I mean, you could be struggling with that camera and you keep turning. Very soon you'll have automatic cameras that keeps moving, and you'll even have a bigger space to operate.
Amen. Yeah. Amen.
I prophesy that. Otoeka kiti. Toa mbegu. For the prophecy.
Amen. Now, since we're talking about stats, and you've touched on your professional start, regarding the show, tell us a bit about yourself. You know, your journey, your professional journey.
You know me, I'm a son of the streets,
and you can touch a bit on your personal journey as well. Yes,
I would say I'm a son of the streets, literally. Okay. I mean, I'm born on the streets. Like everything that I've done is a first. People who know me will tell you that I'm a man of many firsts. You know, I unbox things. I get out of my space and do things for the first time. People keep asking me, okay, which media school did you attend? I never went to a media school either. I never went to a media school. So that is one of the things that would shock you, because people wonder, hey, ulienda shule wapi? So I never went to a media school. My journey has been a crazy one, with a lot of twists and turns. And that's why I usually tell people, especially young people, is that, you know, people look at us today and, you know, they see what we are today. They never really take time to interrogate where we've come from, to understand the journey we've come from. For me, it has been honestly a struggle. For once, kuna good time nilikuwa nauza vijiko Eldoret. That's what I first started doing. I was hawking spoons in Eldoret, Chinese spoons.
Yes.
And first of all, the things that needs to come to you is that you need to realize that it's your life. It's your life. There's nobody who's gonna change it for you. Not the government, not the next politician, not your brother, not even your father, not even your mother. It's your life. And once you realize it's your life, there are a lot of dramatic changes that you do in your life. And that's one of the things that I did. I remember I just sat down and I said, man, I'm not gonna live this life anymore. That's how I found myself in Nairobi. So someone calls me and tells me, hey, Nairobi kuna kazi ya kuhesabu maziwa. Mimi ndio hiyo. Left mpaka Nairobi. When I got here, I was told bwana kazi ni ya kuload maziwa. Lori inatoka baridi ndani. You're coming to remove the milk and load it into the small vehicles. But then again, I decided to do it and give it my best. There's something I also need to tell you, George, is that you'll never get anything from something that you don't give it your all. If you're not giving anything your all, forget it. If you cannot give this thing that you're doing your all, trust me, it will not bring you anything. So I put it in my all. By the time I was living with that company in 2015, George, is that I was an assistant manager, a fleet manager. From a loader of milk, from a casual worker, to an assistant manager. And I really want to appreciate that company is Buzeki. And I want to appreciate Muzeki for giving me an opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, that guy looked at me, but I didn't even have any paper. He looked at me and said, what can you do? I said, I can do this, I can do this. So I got into an entry level into IT. I'd never seen any computer before. I think I just did my packages. Then I worked there. He saw what I was doing. I was delivering. I was working hard at it. And he said, man, I mean, you can do more. You know? And when I left as well, I never burned those bridges. Biggest problem people do is that young people is that they burn bridges every time. Honor the people who have given you a space to come up in life. So that's what I did. I'm also a politician, like you said it. I went and tried to run for Moiben, Lianguka Kidogo, constituency. But you are back. In 2022, you might be speaking your next MP. Yeah, you might be calling me Mheshimiwa. So you better start exercising and training your tongue for the titles. Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is where we are. Apart from of course what you see, the tackle. I'm also a businessman as well. I'm in real estate. I'm also in commodity trading. I'm in tendering. I'm in construction as well. You know. So Nairobi, you have to be a jack of all trades.
Then you have to spread your tentacles.
You have to open your funnel kabisa.
You have to.
Inaitwa shamba la mawe.
Yes.
Na hapa ni kabura, hakuna mahali pa kupanda managu. So you have to keep moving. Yeah.
Exactly.